West Asia remains on an edge. Uncertainty over the ceasefire persists as yet another week has passed by without a fresh round of direct US-Iran talks. Amid this, Tehran has reportedly put forth a new proposal to end the war. As per Al-Mayadeen, Iran has conveyed a three-stage proposal to the US through Pakistan. The first step would entail a formal end to this war and guarantees from America to prevent its resumption. Subsequently, the next stage would see both sides discuss management of the Strait of Hormuz, extremely crucial. Iran will reportedly initiate talks on the nuclear issue only after this. Now remember, this comes even as US wants to take control of Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium. Even Axios, the media outlet, reported that Iran wants nuclear negotiations at a later stage only after the ceasefire is extended for a long period, the Strait of Hormuz is opened, and the US blockade has been lifted. However, this may remove America's leverage to convince Iran to stop uranium enrichment. Reports suggest that President Donald Trump is set to hold a Situation Room meeting with his top national security and foreign policy team on Monday. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, who's currently in Russia, blamed America for the failure of the Islamabad talks. Abbas Araghchi claimed that negotiations failed to make progress owing to excessive demands and incorrect policies of United States.
The US approaches caused the previous round of negotiations, despite progress, to fail to reach its goals because of the excessive demands and incorrect policies. It was therefore necessary to hold consultations with our friends in Pakistan to review the latest situation.
Araghchi also underscored the significance of the Strait of Hormuz in the current scenario, terming it as an important global issue. A day earlier, Araghchi met with Oman's Prime Minister Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said to discuss the security in this strategic waterway, as well as diplomatic efforts to end the war. During this meeting with the Iranian delegation in St. Petersburg, the Russian President Vladimir Putin told Araghchi that Moscow would do everything that it could do to help secure peace in West Asia. In fact, he also lauded the courage shown by Iranians in fighting for their sovereignty. Due to the West Asia war, speaking with the media, Abbas Araghchi claimed that US has requested negotiations as it hasn't achieved even a single goal. In fact, he also added that Iran is looking into this request.
From our side, we will do everything that is in your interest, in the interests of all nations in the region, so that peace is reached as soon as possible. You know our position very well.
In another development, a top Iranian official claimed that its new proposed law would designate the armed forces as the authority to manage the Hormuz. In fact, he hinted at charging transit fees in rial.
The Islamic Republic of Iran's dues in this strait must be paid based on the national currency, the rial, and under this plan, vessels and cargo belonging to the Zionist regime are not allowed to transit under any circumstances.
Now, even as the Araghchi-led Iranian delegation visited Islamabad twice during the weekend, remember, it ruled out any direct talks with the US. This prompted Donald Trump to cancel Witkoff and Kushner's scheduled Pakistan visit. On his part, though, Trump has cited long travel hours as the reason behind this decision. In fact, he's also asserted that talks can be held over a phone call if Tehran reaches out to America. On the other hand, Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf took a swipe at Trump's claim that the US holds all the cards. While referring to disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, he hinted that Iran has the ability to block the Bab al-Mandeb Strait as well as harm the Gulf pipelines. And this is not all. Ghalibaf also indicated that United States had already used its strategic petroleum reserves. He issued a veiled warning as well to the American consumers about a further spike in prices during the peak summer vacation season. Meanwhile, United States continues to face the flak from its NATO allies as well over the Iran war. For instance, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has mocked America for its lack of exit options. Take a listen.
I cannot see what strategic exit the Americans are now opting for, especially as the Iranians are obviously negotiating very skillfully. or rather, very skillfully not negotiating and letting the Americans travel to Islamabad, only to leave again without any results. An entire nation is being humiliated by the Iranian state leadership.